Good morning, everyone. It has been such a great day already. I'm so glad that you are here with us here at Church on the Drive. If we don't know each other, my name is Anna, and I'm the student pastor here, which means, thanks. I know, it's so great. Which means I get to hang out with those people that just wooed me. We have the middle school and high school students and our young adults. It is such a blessing and such a great place to be, and I am so glad to be here this morning with you. And y'all, look at this. This is fantastic. I was trying to do the math, and I don't know, I think I got to maybe 1,600. Is that close? Anybody? Sounds about right? We love it. But it's so exciting to look at this. It is Super Bowl Sunday also. We have encouraged you perhaps to wear your favorite team's colors or jerseys. It's been kind of fun to look out and see some sprinklings of that. Today I wore my Church on the Drive jersey because Church on the Drive is my favorite team. It's a great place, right? Yes, I love it. I am just so proud of this team of people that are staff that I get to work with. They are incredible people. I would say that whether they were in the room or not. They are wonderful people who have our best interests of our church and of the Lord in mind, and it's exciting to work with them. We have so many incredible teams also here at our church, all different types of ways that people are serving and people are giving, and just being here in general. You are a part of our team, and I am so thankful for that. I also am thankful for, all of this for Super Sunday, right? I also think about our Christmas missions offering that we had back in December. We almost tripled our goal. That is incredible that this place cares for the spreading of the word of Jesus here in our community, but also all around the world. And that is so exciting and an awesome thing to be a part of this team. And so I was thinking about one of my first experiences here on Edgewater Drive. It actually was 3 years ago, because 3 years ago I came here. Is that crazy? It's been 3 years, y'all. It's nuts. In one way, it feels like it's been a lot longer in a good way. And also like I just got here too. But that's why I have a 23 on my shirt. 3 years, got it? Yeah. When I came. There it is. Thank you. Yes. So, but I was thinking about when I first got here, I had to go get a check because when you are renting a property, you need to give them a check. And well, I don't have checks. I can't tell you the last time I have owned a check. And so I went to the bank that I bank with, Chase Bank, down here on Edgewater Drive. And I was telling the lady at the counter, this is why I need this check. This is why I'm here. And she asked where I would be, and I said, Church on the Drive. And she had this huge smile on her face. Just like, that place cares so well for our community. That place loves College Park. They love us. They are a great place that loves people well. And I remember thinking, yes, I'm coming to that place. That's so exciting. And my mom was also with me, and I think it was really comforting for her to hear that, as she's in Texas and I'm in Florida. And I think it was good for her to hear good things about our church, not just from us, but from people in the community. But essentially what this woman at the bank was saying is that Church on the Drive is seen as a light in our community. That you as a church, you as a people of God, you as a place are shining the light of Jesus around College Park, around wherever you might live in our world, and that is an incredible, exciting thing to be a part of. And if you notice, if you've been here before, or if not, you'll hear it today, later, at the end of our services, we like to tell you to go out and be a light. Wherever you might be going that week, or wherever life might take you, we ask you and tell you to go be a light. But where does that come from? Why do we tell that? Yes, it's a great statement to say, but it actually comes from Scripture. And so it comes from Jesus in his longest sermon that he has. It's called the Sermon on the Mount, and we find it in Matthew 5. And so Jesus, at this time in his life, he's kind of just started his ministry, and people are finding out about him. They're hearing about him. He's doing some incredible things, and people are like, I want to know if this guy is the real deal. Is he really truly who people say he is? Can he do what he says? Does he say things and actually live up to it? I want to check this guy out. And so we find Jesus, it says in Matthew 5:2 that he's with his disciples. And so it's this group of men that he has called out to follow him, and they are his disciples. And so he's speaking to them, but we know that more than likely other people are listening in. They want to kind of be a part of this conversation and hear what Jesus is saying to them. And so Jesus begins this sermon speaking about what we would call the Beatitudes, or speaking about people who are blessed. And the way he talks about them, though, it seems like his notion of blessing or being blessed in life is kind of the opposite of what people would normally think. I mean, he says, like, blessed are the poor in spirit, for they will inherit the kingdom of heaven. Then he talks about, like, blessed are the merciful, are the meek, are those who mourn, are the peacemakers. It's kind of the opposite of people that maybe the world might think are blessed people. And Jesus is saying, no, actually, those are the ones that are blessed in the kingdom of God, in the kingdom of heaven. And then he says, and even you who are persecuted, or you who are made fun of, or you that people say evil things about because of me, because of following me, Jesus, even you are blessed in the midst of that. Wouldn't necessarily think that's a blessing, but Jesus is saying that is a blessing to be persecuted because of me, because of following after me. And then he goes on to this. And so this is Matthew 5:13, and he says, you are the salt of the earth. But if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. So he says, you are the salt of the earth. Now remember, he's speaking to his disciples, but also, of course, other people are listening. But did you catch this? He says, you are the salt. Not you will become, or you will obtain, or if you do all this stuff, you're going to have the salt. No. He says, you are the salt of the earth. So he's telling his disciples, those that are following him, you are already the salt of the earth. So live like it. And what does that mean? Like, you are already this part of who you are. Now, have you ever wondered why Jesus uses salt here? I think sometimes when I think about salt, I think of like the table salt that like we have at our meals. It's not exactly what he's talking about, or like the Morton salt girl, like that's not really what he's talking about either. I mean, that's all salt, of course, too, but in those days, did you know they didn't have refrigerators? What? I know, right? They didn't have fridges. They couldn't keep stuff cold. They couldn't keep stuff like preserving their food. How did they do that? They did that with salt. So to preserve their food, to keep it from spoiling, to keep it from decaying, they used salt. And salt was an essential part of their cooking, the essential part of just their way of life. It was this thing that was a part of everyday life. And one way was to keep things from decaying or from spoiling. But also salt. Do you notice when there's salt in something? Like sometimes we notice it, but really though, I notice when there's not salt. Like when it's kind of bland and it's like, something's missing in this. And sometimes it's because there's not any salt in it. Like salt, it brings out the flavor of something. It helps to bring out the spices. It brings flavor to whatever meal you might be eating. So the same way, saying you are salt, you bring flavor into the world that you are in today. So you're bringing life into a decaying world. You're bringing flavor into a world also. And then salt, it was also a really important part of the covenants, of the promises that God made with his people back in the Old Testament. So in the times way before Jesus, God had these covenants with these people, these promises with his people, and often salt was a part of that. And we see this in Leviticus 2. So it says, season all of your grain offerings with salt. Do not leave the salt of the covenant of your God out of your grain offerings. Add salt to all of your offerings. So in some verses right before this, it tells us that those offerings, they couldn't have like honey or like yeast or anything like that, but they could have salt. Salt could be a part of the covenant of these offerings that they had. So even salt reminds us of this permanence of God, this loyalty of God to his people and of us to him. There's a reminder about God's love for us, even in the midst of salt. So as Jesus is speaking to his disciples to be salt, it's as if he's saying, okay, so as salt, you are to help preserve the world, to be the one that's bringing life into a decaying and spoiled world. We into a broken world to be the salt in this. And then also bring flavor, bring life into this world that needs to know Jesus and knows the life that you live, be that. And then not only those things, but salt also reminds us of God's love for us, of God's love for his people. That's why he uses salt. But let's go back to that verse. Did you see the second part of it? So not only are you the salt of the earth, but then it says, but if salt loses its saltiness, side note, say that 5 times fast. It's a little difficult, right? So as salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It's no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. So in the Message translation in this verse, it talks about and says, like, if you lose your saltiness, how can people know your godliness? They're going to miss that, and then it's just going to be thrown in the garbage because it will be useless at this time. It's no longer good if it's not living into its purpose. So don't lose your purpose of being salt. Stay in that purpose, because unsalty salt doesn't make sense. So then, Jesus doesn't stop with salt. He continues on. Let's see what else he says. So in verse 14, he says, you are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. And in the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. So go back to verse 14. What did it say? You are the light of the world. Did you catch that again? Not you're going to have the light. You might become the light. You will obtain the light, but you are the light. Jesus is saying to his followers, just like he said about you are the salt, you are the light. You are already this. You have this purpose. And of course, we think about light, right? Like it shines in a dark place. Even like a really small amount of light, like if you think about if you've ever lost power before, unfortunately, I think sometimes we're familiar with that in Florida, right? But when you lose power, you can even light like a small little flashlight. It's going to be pretty bright because it's so dark. Even a little bit of light makes a difference. And light, it also illuminates where we're going. It helps us see what's in front of us. It helps to give a path of where we might be going. Light helps us see. And of course he says, like, you don't light a lamp and hide it. You don't light a candle and put it under a bowl. I will say, when we were singing This Little Light of Mine, Greg, I was waiting for some of the verses that I learned as a child, and we didn't sing those, but don't you worry, you know, the parts where it's like, hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Y'all, anybody? You know, you got your little light? Does anyone know that verse? Like, okay, there were a few of you. Okay, it's gonna be a solo for Anna. Thanks. Okay, first off, so I had to look up what a bushel was, and I don't think I knew what a bushel was even as a child. Did you know? Not only is it a measurement, like a I don't know, amount of measurement. There we go. That's not the right way to say it. Clearly, I didn't look that part up. But it's also used to be like a basket or like a bowl or a bucket. So like hide it under a bowl, hide it in a bucket. No, like you yell no as a child because why would you hide it? That makes no sense. And then my favorite one was always, don't let Satan it out. I'm going to let it shine. You know, you don't say like blow, you, right? Sorry, sound people, I didn't tell you I was going to do that. But yes, like don't let anyone blow out the light. Like, and I loved that I learned that as a child to think about this light that Jesus has given to me, this light that I have. Don't let anyone cover it. Don't let anyone blow it out. I have this sign in my house, and it says, don't let anyone dull your sparkle. And I think that's kind of appropriate now. Like, don't let anyone dull your light. Like, let it shine. But don't let it shine for you. Look back at that verse, at verse 16. I'm going to go back to that, and it says, in the same way, let your light so shine that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. It's not that I'm lighting a light so I put a spotlight on me and they can see that I'm really awesome and wonderful and fantastic. That's not why I have a light. It's that I can reflect back and that I can shine light to the one who is incredible, the one who is the Savior of the world, the creator of the world, the light that I have within me. It's not about me, it's about Jesus. And illuminating the path that Jesus has for us. I think about, you know, light and salt have purposes. Like if you have some unsalty salt or some unlit lights, like they don't make sense. Why do we have those in the first place? But they have a purpose. They're pointing beyond themselves, and what they're pointing to is Jesus. To glorify who Jesus is. So as I of course love these metaphors that Jesus has. I think they're great. But I also was thinking about a recent experience I had and just some ways that maybe it kind of fits a little different way that maybe might make sense to you too. So a few weeks ago, actually 4 weeks ago today, I completed the Dopey Challenge at Disney World. Thank you. I was not even expecting that. Thanks, guys. Okay, so if you're like, what's that? Let me tell you. So it was 4 races for 4 days, and it was 48.6 miles. So that's a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, and a full marathon, 4 days in a row, all at Disney World. Yeah, it was the craziest, most difficult experience of my life, but I did it, and I got the pictures to prove it, and the medals. So thank you, everyone, thank you. Now, can I also pause for just a second and say, remember when I was talking about our team and how this is my favorite team, Church on the Drive? That was so evident during those races because so many of you contacted me to ask me about the races. I had people in this room that recorded some messages for me that was called a Rally app. And so as I'm on each mile, I had different people record little messages so I would hear them as I was running. And let me tell you, those were, when you're at mile 16 and this is the worst experience of your life, hearing people like pray over you and like encourage you that like, and I had no clue who had recorded them. Like, It meant the world to me. And then our letter writing team wrote me notes that I read each night before the races. So many of you kept up with me on social media. So many of you have asked about it since then. I mean, like the team of Church on the Drive, you were all a part of the Dopey Challenge. Whether you know it or not, you too were a part of this. I am very thankful for this team of people that were very excited for me with that. And so if you don't know anything about me, you should know that I really love glitter a lot. I even have some on right now. I did that on purpose. What you should know, though, too, is that not only do I love glitter, but I love to wear glitter during the races because look your best, do your best. That's what I decide, okay? And so, right? So I have glitter that's in all different colors because you got to match your glitter to your costume. And of course, you got to have a costume for each race, right? Like, you know, my mom did ask me, she was like, does everyone dress up? And I was like, no, but I'm not friends with them. Like, you know, the people who dress up, like, just being honest. I'm kidding. I'll be friends with you whether you dress up or not. It's wonderful. It's a great experience. However, so even like the girls that I had some roommates that weekend, and they too all love glitter. So our room was a little glittery. We cleaned up after ourselves, I promise. But if you know anything about glitter, it kind of clings on and it sticks to you, and you find it, weeks, months later. Like this morning, so I told you it was 4 weeks ago. This morning, I found the shoes that I wore like in the room during that time. And I kid you not, there is still glitter on those shoes from that weekend. And I looked at them and was like, oh, like while it's funny, but it's also a good reminder to me about that experience. It's a reminder of the good, the bad, the ugly, the really hard, the also really rewarding things that happened that weekend. The glitter itself is a reminder that I was a part of something incredible, something bigger than myself. And I thought about, isn't that true for my life with Jesus? Don't I want to be the reminder that I'm a part of something incredible, and not that it points to me, but it points to Jesus? Because the glitter, it's not the race, right? Like, while it is important, it is not like the main thing at all. But it reminds me of the main thing. It reminds me of this incredible thing that I was a part of. And shouldn't I want to be essentially the glitter for the people around me, to remind them of God's incredible love and gift to me and to them? As you see, salt and light, they point to strange, but you could, I guess. But salt is not the meal. It's the thing that enhances. It's the thing that preserves. It's the thing that brings the flavor. That's what salt is. And light, it's not the destination. It's the thing that illuminates the path and shines bright in the way that you might be going. And even glitter, while it can be really clingy, it could be a reminder of something incredible that you've experienced. And I think that's really what Jesus is saying to his people and to us too. You are the salt, the light of the world. Live like it. Because quite often we talked about how salt and light have a purpose, and it doesn't make sense when they live into their purpose. But if we're honest, there's times where we don't really live into that either. It takes risk to be the salt and light. Sometimes I want to shy away and not shine bright. Or sometimes I just don't want to have to stand out or don't add flavor to something. I'd rather be more bland than stick out. But remember what Jesus says. It's not that you're obtaining these things. It's that you already are. You are salt. You are light. These things are already a part of you. If you are a believer of Jesus, if you have made Jesus the king of your life, then you are salt, you are light, so live like it. Live into that and point to Jesus in the midst of that. I think really the way we could put it is kind of where we're going to end today. It says, when we've truly been with Jesus, something of him stays with us and shows up everywhere we go. If I truly have Jesus as the king of my life, as the one that I follow, as the one that I know to be the incredible one in my life, if that is true for my life, then something of him stays with me. It stays on me. It's something that people can see and experience when they are around me and in my presence, and that it shows up everywhere I might go. Which means that maybe my conversations look different than they did before. The places that I go look different than they did before. That the things on my social media look different than they did before. All of these different aspects of my life, they look different because of Jesus being a part of that, being a part of who I am, being the thing that people encounter, not me, but encounter Jesus. So I want to leave you with this challenge for the week. This is for all of us. Is let our words, our decisions, and our presence leave a reminder of Jesus and his love for us and the world wherever we go. So our words, the things we say, the decisions that we make, the choices that we make, even just our presence wherever we might be, may those things of us leave a reminder of Jesus, and not just Jesus, but his deep love for us. And remember, it's not just about us, but about the world, whoever you might encounter this week. May they know the love of Jesus wherever you might find yourself this week. May you be the salt that preserves, that brings life into a decaying world. May you be the light that brings hope and joy in a world that really needs it right now. Or may you be the glitter of the earth that is a reminder that God has done something incredible in your life and you want to share it with everybody else that you meet this week. May we be those things that God has already called us to be. May we live into that, being salt and light and glitter each and every day. Will you pray with me? So as we spend a moment in prayer, I want to give you a moment to just think. Where is that place that you need to be salt or be light or even be glitter in the world that you are? And I give you just a moment to think about that place, figure out that place, and to ask God to give you the courage to be salt and light in that place this week. God, as you have helped us think about those places, God, may we be the salt and the light and even the glitter, God, where you have placed us this week. God, may people see you when they encounter us, that we point to you and your deep love for us. God, thank you for loving us.